All right, welcome back. Welcome to week 3 slash day 15. It's only Monday. It feels like Friday, but it's the beginning of the week. Um, so yeah, today we are starting off a new week. But yesterday I finished up what did I do yesterday? The first or the second lesson video. So in the last couple of days, I've been able to set up um, some model deployment. I have like Hugging Face Spaces working. I mostly have my Git integration working with the Hugging Face Spaces. I have had a little bit of issues with trying to push a larger model, pushing larger file sizes for the models, but for the most part, it's not. I found workarounds, but there's a couple things I still want to troubleshoot there. Um, but I got a model deployed. I got the Gradio UI working, and it's funny. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it, but I guess I'm gonna find out. I think that is though. I got the Gradio UI working, so or the interface, so you can interact and basically I keep wanting to say prompt a model, but it's not NLP, it's not prompting. It was an image classifier. So I got that working. And then I found out through finishing up lesson 2 yesterday, at least the video version. Um Basically, the way I have it set up, there's also an API endpoint that I can use to not prompt, I keep saying prompt, but to interact with the model. So that was pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of itching to keep building now that I've have at least that much figured out. Especially because feel like when I first started working on learning about like machine learning and deep learning and building models and deploying them, it was not this straightforward to train and deploy. So that got me really excited. I have some projects planned, um, but I feel like I'm gonna take a step back and keep following my process, which is also what was recommended through the materials, which is after I finish the lesson, after I watch the video lesson, then I go through and I read the book chapter directly after that. So before I set anything else up, I want to do that deeper dive and go ahead and read the book chapter. And I don't know, sometime soon I really want to. Maybe I'll get my O'Reilly account live again. I really want to get a hard copy of the book itself, because y'all know I'm one of those people. I actually buy and read books, especially coding books. But for now it's okay. But I'm definitely putting it on my list to get it within the next couple of weeks, because I think there's some extra context and just extra information that I don't think is necessarily all included in the repository with the notebooks for the different chapters. Not to say you're necessarily missing out if you're using the repository like I am for the free version of the book, but I think, because of the kind of interest level I have, it would be really great if I can actually follow along with the book material and kind of do some deeper dives and also read some, throughout the day while I am getting other things done. So that's on my list of things to do. But either way, I'm excited. I also think this is like the earliest I was able, this is the earliest I've been able to sign on in a couple of days, maybe like at least a week, or I don't know, maybe this the entire time. But yeah, it's still late. It's still like 11 o'clock. So I had a really long day, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm planning on reading chapter 2, starting the chapter 2 reading today. And we'll just see from there. I'll probably just do like 2 poems and call it a night, or just do like 1 hour of reading straight through. So that way, it's only Monday and I have a lot of stuff to try to get through this week. including a lot of stuff that's related to either like filming some videos, some tutorials, some blogs, and stuff like that. And then, not next week, but the week after next, for Girl Development, we have our what are we calling it now? Career Explorations event. So for that, I have one presentation I have to prepare, which I'm also going to prepare like YouTube videos and stuff to go alongside them, and that's going to be a GitHub presentation. And then I also have been asked to like moderate, or I guess it's not a moderation, but yeah, it's kind of moderating. I'm going to be having like a conversation with one of our Girl Development co-founders, and so that'll be fun. This is basically our keynote for day 2. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do just yet, how I'm going to shape the conversation, but it will actually end up being I guess it'll be the 3rd episode for the podcast. So, for Girl Development in particular. So I have to figure out how I'll do that. Usually for all of the podcasts that are going right now, I always go live on Twitch, and then I go live to whichever respective YouTube channels. So I'm gonna we'll see how that can work. I might still go live. I probably will be able to go live, but it won't be on Thursday this time. It'll be on the week after next, on Wednesday. So that should be fun, right? That might end up being 2 episodes in 1 week. An episode on Wednesday and another podcast episode on Thursday. So we'll see. But that's kind of what's on my radar right now. So I just, like I said, it's only Monday and it feels like it's Friday, and I have a lot of stuff that a lot of projects and stuff I want to kind of get going. I also have another workshop that we're going to be teaching, myself and one of my co-founders, or my co-founder from Detroit Black Tech. We are hosting like a MVP developer training it'll be every Tuesday evening in June. So that's more like if you're working with founders, startup founders, non-technical founders, and trying to help them build out their MVP, kind of like proof of concept for whatever their specific, business is, and using no-code and low-code tools in order to do that. So that's just yet another project. So I have some work to prep for there. So yeah, I have other things on my mind. I guess you could say technically outside of this material, a lot more teaching is coming up. And so I am trying to pace myself because I don't want to burn out. I'm known for burnout. I've burnt out like multiple times at this point in my life. And it had become kind of a normal part of the process. Like I also have worked in the midst of burnout for a lot of my professional years. So I'm not trying to live that lifestyle no more, especially now that I got a baby boy. So I'm just gonna be a little bit more conscious of just kind of how I pace myself overall, especially since I'm going to be getting into, I'll be context switching a lot right now. That's basically the thing. I'll be hopping from the no code, low code stuff to, I have some full stack React stuff to teach soon. Full stack JavaScript, so React and Mern, and then I have AI ML basically every day. And yeah, so I don't want to burn myself out. So today, I know it's late, I'm tired, but I do want to keep making progress every day. So I'm just going to read and possibly work through some of these notebooks. I'm just not sure, how much is gonna, training the models can take a long time. So I don't tend to get the models running within an hour. So I doubt that that'll happen, but we'll see. So I appreciate everybody for always being here and being supportive. And yeah, this is just the way I'm looking at it now. I guess by the end of this week, Next week will be 25 days sometime next week, right? Or is my brain not mathing? So this is our third week. Yeah, so next week during the fourth week, that's when, like about midweek next week, we'll hit that 25-day mark. Um, like I said, for me, it feels like an uphill battle until I get closer to like 50 or past 50 days. Once I start counting down the days, once it feels like I'm counting down rather than counting up, it helps so much. All right. So this, before I do this, hold up, wait a minute. Open recent. Let's first do our log for today. But yeah, it was really exciting to read or to watch and find out that we have an API endpoint for our projects. So that just makes my life even easier. I don't want to say it makes it easier. I want to say it enables me to do a lot more than I was expecting. It removes some of that's not how that was supposed to go. It removes some of the extra stress of just having to figure out a lot of, the nitty gritty details of getting everything all wired up. It means I can just focus more on the projects that I've come up with. So, I'm a nerd, so I don't know, that excited me. 22. Okay, so yeah, today we are, I'm just gonna say reading this chapter. Dang it. I was supposed to be pressing Command Z, but I was pressing Shift Z. See, I told y'all I need some sleep. Okay, lesson 2. No, just say reading chapter 2 of the Fast AI book. And then let me see. So yesterday I was able to finish. Let's see. I finished the the lesson 2 video. Okay, I don't know, I'm just gonna say that. And then today, so my main thoughts now are basically it's the API that excites me. So I cannot wait to start building on the project, but also just, I don't want to rush ahead because I'm trying to be way more than a practitioner of ML, so let's see. Okay. So I feel pretty good about that. Wait, didn't I update? I'm confused. How does day 13? I must have went back and fixed it. That's why. I'm like, why does day 13 have the hugging face space and then 14 didn't? So I think what I'll do is for day 14, let's put the endpoint. Let's put the endpoint for the model that's deployed. Okay, so yeah, let's I'm gonna put that as my okay. And then yeah, so last thing I'll do is update this so it's consistent, and then I'm just going to I should finish before 12:30. So if I can do that, I can actually get some type of rest in. Okay, so let's commit this. I literally use the same commit every day. Git push. Okay. And then I'm kind of weary of how tech is working in my life today, because for some reason when I started streaming Stream Elements, which is one of the bots that helps with like alerts and stuff, couldn't even grab my name or my stream title when it posted that everything was live. So I hope that there's some integrations going on, but I noticed that Twitch recently introduced some new features. Oh, I should have kept VS Code open. Twitch recently introduced some new features, and also I've been having a lot of issues where my bot or like Stream Elements, Streamlabs get signed out often. Actually, I just realized Streamlabs, where are you? The bot is in the chat, so we'll have to see. I have to keep an eye on that because I it might be a lot of changes going on, or a lot of flux going on to the Twitch API for those other tools that also do things like alerts and stuff. So we'll see. Okay. Let's go to. Didn't I just open that window back up? We got a new playlist in today too, so we'll see how this music is. I'm gonna write some lo-fi for for the channel. I promise. I don't know how soon, but I'm definitely going to. Okay. Hopefully that was my only yawn for now. I got a little G Fuel over here, so I didn't want to make a new I didn't want to make a new round though, because I already had 2 scoops in this container today, so I didn't finish the whole one. So I said I'll just finish this one off. because oh, sorry, I'm gonna take my butt to bed for real. Alrighty, don't show this again, please. Let me get my notebook too. So I did see, it was talked about in the lesson. This is going to be. Did it skip? That was a little too jazzy. I'm sorry. Soup, so welcome back in. How are you? Oh yeah, I did see in this lesson, basically they were doing the image classifier, but it was distinguishing between like grizzly bears and I was about to say polar bear. Grizzly bears and black bears and teddy bears. So a lot of this material is referencing the bears. So like I said, I don't know that I'm going to try to run the model training because it is kind of slow. But what I was putting these labs in collabs, right? These notebooks. Okay. I was reading the notebooks from collabs and training that way. So that will require me to I'm kind of getting my flow down, you know. This is only my second chapter. So I'm trying to remember how I set this up for myself. I think what I did was go to the lesson and then go to the chapter notebook. Is that right? That's so weird. Maybe what I did was I must have opened my notebook because I know for sure. Look, let's look at the repositories and see. This, what's in this repo? Because this is the one I know only has one. And I thought this was chapter 1. I think this is the chapter 1 notebook. Right? But didn't they? I thought they gave us a link to open a notebook in Colab. Did I make that up? Because, you know, I'm known to fabricate a memory or two. I want to be consistent. Leave that there. Let me see what chapter 1 looks like. I swear I clicked on a link that opened it directly in Colab last time. Then I saved a notebook. And I committed it to GitHub. Okay, see, chapter 1 notebook. And then that's so crazy. I don't remember I don't remember what the workflow was that I followed. Let me go back one more time and see if there's anything else here. I'm not going to spin my wheels on it because it's not like the biggest deal. I can get my notebook into Colab. Yeah, I don't quite remember how I got everything set up. That sucks. Let me see what collabs looks like. I'm tired. I closed my exercise ring twice today. And I probably closed my move ring at least one. I think I'm on 1.5 or is this 2.5 times I closed my move ring. And I've I have 14 out of 12 stand hours today. Yeah, 2.5x on my move ring, 2x on my exercise ring, and a little over almost 1.25x on my stand goal. So yeah, your girl is going to bed. Okay. Now why did I do it this way? Here, can I go straight from GitHub? That doesn't make sense though, because it's not already uploaded there. Okay, whatever. Because there was like a way. Oh, that sucks. I did not make this up, bro. Come on, hold on. Okay, let's. 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes. I'm gonna figure this out. Oh man, my ear itches when I wear these freaking headphones. This lesson is based partly on chapter 1 of the book. But either way, this chapter 1 is the same as this link down here. So that makes sense, but there was a way. Here, let me go back to the main. Yeah. Okay, here's the collab links. I'm like, I know I didn't make that up. And I be, I be making up some stuff sometimes, but I didn't make that up. Okay. So we did chapter 1 intro. Yes, okay. So I should remember that next time. And then I just come here and make my own copy. Close that one. And yeah, it doesn't need to be called copy of, but thank you. And then I'm going to save a copy in GitHub. My head itches. And this is going to is this what I called it? Fundamentals of Deep Learning book? I think so. No. It's going here. Wait. What is that? Hold on. Did I do that recently? That's not even recent, whatever that was. Let me see. Fundament. Here it is. See, y'all, I don't be making this stuff up. I forked this and it hasn't been updated since August 23rd, 2017. That's how old my fork is. But I've always been interested in deep learning and NLP. So yeah, it's just such a great timing for me that NLP is on the rise right now. All right. I just wanted to see what that was. But it actually goes to fast AI. Yep, it goes to this one. Okay. I'm proud of myself, bro, because I'm tired for real. My back hurts. That's was like oh, I don't need to do that. I was washing like for like 3 hours doing like laundry, so I did a lot today. Um Alrighty. So we are gonna run some training. I might switch to doing my notebooks in Kaggle instead, but we'll see. Just because I feel like the training in Kaggle is not as slow as the training I'm getting in collabs. And I imagine that, because there's more of like the cloud based, like pay, pay for your compute power type thing going on with collabs versus Kaggle is more for like, hey, come, train and learn and stuff like that. That might be why it's so slow. And I know I could pay for more processing power, but not sure why I would do that if Kaggle is already just faster and also allows me to still use the free option. So I'll probably, maybe by the end of this week, I'll have figured out if I want to do the Kaggle notebooks going forward. Because that training, 2 days ago, I trained the model. I trained the image recognizer on Kaggle. It took a few minutes. Last week, I really wanted to get to deployment just because I was trying to train my models while I was working on my project, like while I was like working on my coding time, and they were not finishing fast enough. It was taking like an hour, hour and a half, no, it's taking like an hour and a half, 2 hours. That onion, welcome back. How's it going? Okay. So I want to get down to wherever the training starts, just so maybe by the time I make it down here, it'll actually be done training. I know there is an example. So let's do this cleaning. Oh, I gotta get a freaking Azure account just to do this. Wait, how did he say? It was another way that he did the image search so that we didn't have to use Azure. And let's start this just in case I need some type of tracking. But doing well here. It's just been a long day. I'm tired. I'm like, dang, it's only Monday, but it's all good. I just had a lot of stuff to do today. And I guess you could say it's spring cleaning right now. I can't wait. Like, I like the little shiny background and everything. It's real cute. But I will be glad when I don't actually need this, because I ain't gonna lie. I usually have this up because it just makes life easier. Like, I don't have to worry about whatever my room looks like. It's not crazy, but it is. It's definitely not like show the whole internet what it looks like shape. So it's good to have the backdrop, but I prefer not to have to step over this thing all the time when I have it folded down. Okay, I want to go back to the lesson because I'm like pretty positive. I can't remember. Wait, did I write it down? I can't remember what he changed. Um, it was a different way that he was able to query for images. That was like one minor change, and it did not involve having to get an Azure API key. Ain't nobody trying to do all that right now. When I tell y'all I'm really trying to get my life together, like I literally, this is what I do. I literally planned out stuff today. And I haven't done that in a long time. I just sat here and spilled G Fuel on my desk. So yeah, beautiful. I'm so good at life today. It's crazy. But yeah, I was working on my planning, so I'm excited because yeah. I don't know how people get by without like planning their lives. Maybe if you don't have that much stuff going on, but if you have like a semi busy life and you don't use a calendar or write stuff down, I don't know how you live. It's like you literally don't have extra capacity, extra brain capacity to do other stuff. Because that's kind of just how our brains work. Okay, let's see. I'm just looking through my notes to see if I did write down. This is where I started the deployment notes. If not, I know I can just get it from the video. I'll scrub the video for it. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna scrub the video for it. Alrighty, let's go. Here, I'll just finish this so I won't spill it on my desk again. All right, so we were in deployments. Let's open this up. I'm gonna mute it because I'm not gonna rewatch it, but it's whenever, let's see. Oh, gathering images. There we go. Oh, do instead of Bing, do DDG for DuckDuckGo. I thought he actually showed changing the data source. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. Maybe he just already had it there. That's fine. Um. Oh, let's do. Yep, from here. Oh, he already had it set on DDG. Okay, that's fine. Escape. Okay, so I'm here. Yeah, so instead of, it was search images Bing instead of, okay, that's all I need to do. So I mean, technically I ran this, but it doesn't do anything, because there's no, well, it does do it something, but not really. It just sets the key to something that's not really a key. I'm gonna skip this one and do search images DDG instead. Then results. And again, I'm really doing this so I can start my model training, and hopefully it would be done by the time I get to this point in the reading. Wait, so I did that part. Nope. Let's see how this goes. That definitely gives me something in their results. Oh, I don't. Can I just do this without the key? Because I don't need one. Okay, that seems to do something. So let's be consistent. Down here, I don't need this key. Search images. DDG. I literally have never used DuckDuckGo before. I don't know if I'm like missing out or what. Okay. So last thing. Okay. Yeah, let's run this one. Run this one. That's consistent. Bear types. Often when we download blah blah blah, check for failed image. Oops. Wait, that shouldn't have tried to run yet. Oh, okay, I got an error up here. Here's an attribute error. But I wanted, okay, I feel like I'm getting distracted. I'll check, let me see here. Let me give it one brief moment. I'll give it like 2 more minutes and then I'm going to focus on reading. Download images, destination, URLs equals results. Okay, so just URL equals results. I didn't get any output here, so that's my concern. I got like 0 in the empty list, so that don't look right. I don't think I skipped anything though. Get image files path. Yeah, why don't I have any data? For O and bear types, destination is this path. Desktop make directory. Exist okay, true. Results. Search images. And then download images. But is there like a place where they set how many images they want? Like here maybe? Oh, let's see. Okay, if I full screen this now, it still looks crazy. Okay. Doesn't really do anything. Where's the search? Okay, search. Oh. How come this worked? I don't think this attribute, I don't know if this attribute exists because that's what was giving me the error before. Results is search images DDG and then IMS equals Okay, IMS. In this case, it was the content URL, but in the example, it was the search results actually. Let me see. So if I get rid of this, I'm gonna also, ooh, that hurt. I'm gonna also, let's do this, right? And then instead, let's do this. AMS. And then let's go back. So run that, run this. Okay. And then IMS. This is a bear. Download URL. IMS. Destination. Show progress. I like to actually see my progress. Okay. So that works. Wait, did I rerun this one? 7. No. Okay. Image.open, destination. Transform the image. It's a tinier, a tinier picture now. That's funny because last time I had the same image. This time it's a different image, and I think that's probably how it's supposed to be because this is referencing a different image now. Okay, I'm pretty sure I didn't have to change anything else down here. Let's see. It's still nothing there though. Here. I can run that. Sidebar. I was gonna see how much of this can I run. That way. I need data though. I do need data. The none type is not iterable. Yeah. So some point I need some data, but I'm not going to. I think that was more than my 2-minute time box. So that's fine. We shall continue on. Eventually I will get, where'd it go? Here we go. Eventually I'll get that all figured out when the time is right. All right, today is, wait, I wrote the 21st yesterday. Oh, that's so weird. I'm like, why? I was, I don't know. I'm so used to it being after midnight by the time I date my notes. So I was thinking, like, it should be the 23rd, right? Okay, so 5:22, and this pen is dead. That pen is dead. I've been killing some pens lately, bro. So I have a lot of pens, but I've been using these little pens that surprisingly one of my not line sisters, but one of my sorority sisters had at her son's birthday party. They're so cute. Not that anybody cares, but it's like a whole little collection of them. Mm-mm-mm. I have like all different colors and all different fruit, but I like how they write. I think she actually got them from Blick, and I really like how they write. But they don't last very long, and sadly, I've killed like I have 3 dead ones on my desk right about now. Marisa, you are here now. Welcome. Soupsa, have a good night. What the? I'm like a pen snob, y'all. So I be wanting like a specific type of situation with my pens. And it's kind of funny because it's like I don't normally use like little random pens like this. But I was surprised when they like how they write. All right, we're gonna have to use something else. And my I can't even think of the brand right now. But the other pens, like I usually write with felt tip pens, and that one is in the living room too. Do I have another black pen? Is it like weird that in 2023 I care this much about pen choice? I feel like a lot of people don't even write like, do analog notes anymore. I started early. You knew I was about to start, Marissa. What are you talking about? I started earlier than I normally do, but it still wasn't like that early. Okay, we are going to the Tombow. 5. I'm proud of myself, man. 23. Okay. I gotta figure out what is this uh format as code. That's probably what's wrong with it, right? I gotta figure out what is this notation. Why is it like this? Because it's very annoying. It's trying to reference something, but it does not show up the way that it is formatted. And I don't know why it's using 2 sets of angle brackets like that, but it doesn't work out. Okay. The 6 lines. What did it say? Chapter 1, maybe? Chapter intro. Okay. That's annoying. The 6 lines of code we saw are just one small part of the process. See, I like this music, but it's like a little bit too mellow. It's gonna put me to sleep. Let's see how this playlist is. Okay, this is a little bit better. I wanted mellow, but dang, I don't need no I don't need no lullabies right now. I got like stream beats on, so we'll see. I keep saying image recognition, but I feel like I should be saying computer vision more often with a lot of these examples. Yeah, see, this is like a little bit more upbeat. This is what I need right now. So this is going to be about, or the example is going to be a bear classifier, grizzly bears. I keep wanting to say polar bears, grizzly bears, black bears, or is it black bears and brown? No, grizzly bears, black bears, and teddy bears, I think. Capabilities and constraints of deep learning. Oh, yes, and also how to create data sets. This will be good because I need to. One of the big things, which was already one of my projects, is I'm going to have to curate my own data set for the Twitch streamer versus YouTuber classifier. Look at possible gotchas when using deep learning in practice. Okay, so capabilities, constraints, creating data sets. And gotchas. I feel like I'm so on point right now with what I'm supposed to be doing because it's like so satisfying and so fulfilling working on this course right now. Okay, how to frame a problem. Oh, what happened to my timer? There it is. It's weird because I have to like drag it to another screen and then bring it this back, and then I can bring it back over here. I want to skip my break and let's go. I was listening to a lot of the stream beats playlists before, but I got tired of listening to the same ones over and over again. But when I logged on to see, because I usually listen to them through Apple Music, when I signed in today to look, I was willing to go back and listen to some since it has been a while. But I saw they had new playlists, so we're listening to some new playlists today. I have to be careful with my music, y'all, cause yeah, Twitch is like hit or miss. It'll mute the VODs, but YouTube don't play that. Um, so I have to be careful, especially since I really want those live streams for 100 Days of Code to stay on the channel on YouTube. Do I have a YouTube command? Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. So I like this point. They're like underestimating constraints and overestimating capabilities may lead to frustration. Okay. But I think this is more where I am. Overestimating constraints and underestimating capabilities leads you to not attempt a problem or talk yourself out of it. So I've been saying recently like I'm excited about how, for example, right in the first lesson, they were like, oh, by the way, you can apply computer vision models to non vision, non image based problems. Just think about whether you can convert your data set to some type of image format and if you would still basically be able to distinguish between the categories or if you know basically if there's a visual indication that there's differences between different data points, then you know just because you're using sound for example, that doesn't mean you can't use a computer vision model. You can think about converting your sound into some type of a waveform, a visual waveform or graph or something like that, and then use a computer vision model on that. So just I feel like my mind is expanding to a lot of new opportunities that my brain hadn't really considered. And I'm glad I'm doing this early on because I feel like it'll be all the more better to get into research with a more open minded perspective. Oh, yes, next thing they say. The best thing to do is keep an open mind. If you remain open to the possibility that deep learning might solve part of your problem with less data or complexity than you expect, then it's possible to design a process where you can find the specific capabilities and constraints related to your particular problem as you work through the process. All right, so where should you start? Ensure that you have some project to work on. It is only through working on your own projects that you get real experience. Yes, I have plenty of projects. When selecting a project, the most important is data availability. This is in my way. That's why. Here we go. This is basically my plan. So a little confirmation. So for example, let's go back to VS Code. Is it open? Are you running? Are you running? No, you're not. No, you're not. Open recent. So they say lots of small experiments and also gradually develop your own projects. So, for example, I was calling them labs. Maybe I'll call them experiments now. Um, the experiments would be, so I want to do the object detection in the recommendation system. I just want to possibly use like a different data set than whatever they used for the examples that they gave. This is from lesson 1, chapter 1. Then the image classifier project is one where they even said for chapter 2 that we should curate our own data set and then classify image, do an image classifier. So that was kind of, I don't know, it's so funny how my thought process is lining up with how the class is already structured. But um, so this is I'm gonna have to source my own data for this one. It'll be like YouTuber versus Twitch streamer based off of snapshots of of maybe videos or thumbnails. But this project is a bigger project. So this would be not just the sentiment analysis, but it will integrate with the Twitch API, have a model in production, and it will also have a web app that can serve as an overlay for my live streams. So yeah, that's the only thing. Maybe I'll call this experiments. I'm already thinking about how to source my data too, because if I can do any type of scraping, and I specifically scrape from um, like YouTube and Twitch, then like by default I can label the images based off of the source, you know, like whichever website I got them from. But then I might have to go in and tweak some stuff because some people do YouTube and Twitch. Some people's Twitch VODs are on YouTube and whatnot. But, you know, just kind of thinking about that as I go. And then I also have a quick thought. So there's something called, I don't have to be in full screen like that. As we're going along, I've just been data labeling, yeah. As we're going along, I've just been finding new tools and kind of keeping them on the back burner if I would have the possibility to try them out. So I know that Datasort is a labeling tool, but they're mostly focusing on NLP. Yeah, NLP labeling. That's good to know though. So maybe we'll see what they recommend. If they recommend any tooling for labeling or just, you know, good old fashioned I label everything individually one way or another, or programmatically. Wait, what was I just watching where they were previewing the images and changing the labels and updating the labels? I think they did that in the lesson 2 video. So there might be something already there for us. I know there's a section in here. Let's see. There's a section about there should be a section about making a data set. Let me see if they have an updated version of this, because it does actually mention that this summary is based off 2020 information, beginning of 2020 information, and yeah, a lot has changed. I think we all know that. The book. Mm-mm-mm. But I don't know if they. I guess that's. Mm-mm-mm. I guess if they had updated it though, I would see it on the website, and I don't. Okay. Uh, I hope they're gonna make a new version of this book. Let's see, cause I know y'all got it. This book. When was this one released? August 2020. Yeah, I hope they are going to release a new edition soon. Okay, so computer vision. Okay, so computer vision includes object recognition and object detection. And we saw segmentation. The segmentation example was when the model was able to like categorize areas of the image. It was more for I think that use case was around like it was for autonomous vehicles, right? Like detecting people and other cars and stuff like that. So it was able to kind of like color code in the image to tell you what different areas, like where the cars were in the image, where the people were, and etc. Computer vision is something I haven't gotten a lot of experience with. That's why I really liked that in the beginning they were like, yeah, by the way, computer vision can be applied to other things besides images. Um, so I do want to I want to branch out as I'm trying to establish like a good foundation and explore some of the areas that, even if it's not the particular area that I think I'm interested in, just see, because there's a lot of crossover. There's a lot of combining different topics together and different ideas together. And it's really like you can't do that very well when you don't have a broad understanding of the different I guess possible applications. Deep learning is kind of fun because you can apply it to a lot of different areas, a lot of different types of problems. Yeah, so in the segmentation model, every pixel was categorized based on what kind of object it was a part of. That was segmentation. So they were able to, like I said, basically color code an entire image, and different objects are different colors, so they know the difference between a car and a person. I think maybe buildings as well, things that you shouldn't crash into. um, Deep learning. Okay, generally, deep learning algorithms are generally not good at recognizing images that are significantly different in structure or style than those you use to train. For instance, if there were no black and white images in the training data, the model may do poorly on black and white images. Sometimes the background noise in these songs, I don't want to call it noise, but sometimes some of the background sounds in these songs makes it sound like I'm hearing something through my headphones. It's like a knocking sound, but that's a part of the song. All right, so if you were to, for example, train your image classifier or whatever computer vision model on using deep learning, and say you like trained on all full color images, but then you tried to um, do recognition with black and white images, then that's a case where you would likely have poor model performance. Or, for example, if you have like, traditional full color images, but then you try to use your model with hand drawn images. Okay, checking for out of domain data. So, out of domain data was one of the questions at the end of the chapter as well. We previewed the chapter review questions before we started. Okay, one major challenge for object detection systems is that image labeling can be slow and expensive. All right, this my last Pomodoro. There's a lot of work at the moment going into tools to try to make this labeling faster and easier and require fewer handcrafted labels. Yeah, so I'll be curious to see if there's some tooling I can use to create my own data set. But, I don't mind if I have to do it all myself because, like I said, I think another thing about it is I should be able to probably do some data scraping and correlate whichever site that I originally got my image from with the label. Then I should be able to check through and kind of like audit the data maybe and see and just kind of like update things instead of having to do everything from scratch. Oh, and then you can synthetically generate variations of input images, such as by rotating them or changing their brightness and contrast. This is data augmentation. Okay, we did see a preview of data augmentation because there are some features that, if I'm not mistaken, was built into the fast AI library. Like, I remember Squish is one of them. I remember Pad is one of them. And I think there was at least three, but I don't believe I wrote down. Oh, I did write down a third one. Um, Random resized crop. So with random resized crop, squish is like straightforward. You could apply squish to like all of your images. For example, like, or I guess instead of saying for example, the way that squish would work or can work is it can help the entire image be seen sometimes. The image might be cropped based off of the original source, but then if you squish the image down, then you could get, more of the context of the image, things that, were out of view originally. So that's something you can apply across the board, and Pad would let you like reshape the original image instead of but without losing the aspect ratio. That's one way that can be helpful. But they also have random resized crop. Random resized crop, um, basically, kind of what it sounds like, it randomly resizes and crops different images that are already in the data set. So it gives the model, when you're training the model, it gives it all these additional variations of the same images that are already in your data set. And so basically it helps you artificially expand out the actual data that you're training on. So that'll be something that I would probably consider using in my case. But yeah, so that is the data augmentation. There's a lot of work at the moment. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Data augmentation. One thing I am enjoying is like I'm kind of starting to get into the groove of this. It's starting to become more of a routine for me. Just doing 100 days. So I'm excited about that. Okay, and then this is the last one. This is the very important one. um, Another point to consider is that although your problem might not look like a computer vision problem, it might be possible with a little imagination to turn it into one. For instance, if what you are trying to classify are sounds, you might try converting the sounds into images of their acoustic waveforms and then training a model on those images. So that's what I'm going to be looking forward to, like coming up with some type of a computer vision um, experiment at least, but project possibly, where I can convert some other data form into one that's suitable for a CV model. And then, of course, we know so computer vision was the first category when it comes to things that domains that deep learning is good for. Of course, text. This is the main reason I got into deep learning originally, because I'm interested in natural language processing. So this is like what everybody knows about right now. Computers are very good at classifying both short and long documents based on categories, sentiment, author, source, website, and so forth. We are not aware of any rigorous work done in this area to compare them to humans. But anecdotally, it seems to us that deep learning performance is similar to human performance on these tasks. So that's something I can look into, the comparison of model performance in relation, comparison of model performance versus human performance on those tasks. I need some kind of way of like, how do I know this is something I want to research? I'm going to put an eyeball, I guess. Give it some eyelashes so I know that's the eyeball. Deep learning is also very good at generating context appropriate text, such as replies to social media posts and imitating a particular author's style. So, generating, there was document classification, there's text generation, obviously, text generation. Context appropriate. Okay. It's good at making this content compelling to humans too. In fact, even more compelling than human generated text. However, deep learning is currently not good at generating correct responses. We don't currently have a reliable way, for instance, combine a knowledgeable base of medical information with a deep learning model for generating medically correct natural language responses. This is very dangerous because it is so easy to create content that appears to a layman to be compelling, but actually is entirely incorrect. They call that hallucinations. So we got text generation, context appropriate text generation, and content, compelling content, I guess, is one. That'll be like an interesting space for people to continue to explore. I wonder how long it'll be before we figure that out, but you know, when you finally get to a point where the models don't make stuff up with text generation, that's gonna be a scary world. I shouldn't say that. It's gonna be an interesting world though. Um, compelling text. Okay, so I say document classification, text generation, but then things it's not good at, hallucinations are a problem. And then another concern is that context appropriate, highly compelling responses on social media could be used at massive scale, thousands of times greater than any troll farm previously seen, to spread disinformation, create unrest, and encourage conflict. As a rule of thumb, text generation models will always be technologically a bit ahead of models recognizing automatically generated text. For instance, it is possible to use a model that can recognize artificially generated content to actually improve the generator that creates that content until the classification model is no longer able to complete its task. So, um, I guess this concern is more of like a malicious user abuse. Okay, despite these issues, deep learning has many applications in NLP. It can be used to translate text from one language to another, summarize long documents into something that can be digested more quickly, find all mentions of a concept of interest, and more. Unfortunately, the translation or summary could well include completely incorrect information. However, the performance is already good enough that many people are using these systems. For instance, Google's online translation system. Okay, now we got combining text and images. This is interesting because with I'm thinking about I'm thinking more about generating images with text. I'm not sure that's what this is though. All right. So, mhm, mhm. Okay, so the ability of deep learning to combine text and images into a single model is generally far better than most people intuitively expect. For example, a deep learning model can be trained on input images with output captions written in English and can learn to generate surprisingly appropriate captions automatically for new images. But there's still the same hallucination issue. Because of this serious issue, we generally recommend that deep learning be used not as an entirely automated process, but as part of a process in which the model and a human user interact closely. This can potentially make humans orders of magnitude more productive than they would be with entirely manual methods, actually result in more accurate processes than using a human alone. Automatic system can be used to identify potential stroke victims from CT scans and send a higher priority alert to have those scans looked at quickly. Yeah, so like in that case, instead of trusting the model to generate the proper um instead of trusting the model to generate the proper proper caption, use the model to alert somebody to look at it, somebody that actually is trained, and you won't have to worry about giving the model the potential to overreact or under. I mean, I guess it could underreact, but it won't give the model a chance to overreact anyway. There is only a 3-hour window to treat strokes. So this fast feedback loop could save lives. At the same time, however, all scans should continue to be sent to radiologists in the usual way. So there will be no reduction in human input. Other deep learning models could automatically measure items seen on the scans and insert those measurements into reports, warning the radiologists about findings that they may have missed and telling them about other cases that might be relevant. Okay, then you got tabular data, which is interesting to me as well. For analyzing time series and tabular data, deep learning has recently been making great strides. However, deep learning is generally used as a part of an ensemble of multiple types of model. If you already have a system that is using random forest or gradient boosting machines, popular tabular modeling tools you will learn about soon. Okay, great. Then switching to or adding deep learning may not result in any dramatic improvement. Deep learning does greatly increase the variety of columns that you can include. For example, columns containing natural language like book titles and reviews, and high cardinality categorical columns, something that contains a large number of discrete choices. On the downside, deep learning models generally take longer to train than random forest or gradient boosting machines, although this is changing thanks to libraries such as Rapids. Is this a train next week? This is a train next week, y'all. So Thursday, I don't know what we're gonna talk about on Thursday, but um the trainx.ai show, yeah, we host that one this week for sure. Oh, I have to talk about I have to recap the hearings for sure. I don't know what else I want to talk about. I gotta pick a topic for this month. If you want to see some of the other two episodes we did so far, on the videos tab, into which I do have a section for all of the podcast shows, so you should still see the two Train X shows up from March and April. But I'm working on getting that one deployed because that's the only one that doesn't have its own YouTube channel right now. All the rest of the shows are on in a big playlist on my YouTube channel. You can see all the episodes in the Crawl Walk Run Plus Plus list. And that's like on the homepage of my YouTube channel. Okay, so I guess for tabular data, I would say column variety is a variety is a plus, but then the downside is longer training. Something about the word training already having an I and an N back to back makes me spell it wrong every time. I end up with train instead of training, and it's really annoying. Nobody cares but me. Okay, and then recommendation systems. This is another one I haven't done a lot with that I think I am very, interested in at least exploring. Um, all right, we're almost to the end, and it's been 2 hours. That's okay though. Recommendation systems are really just a special type of tabular data. In particular, they generally have a high cardinality categorical variable representing users and another one representing products. A company like Amazon represents every purchase that has ever been made by its customers as a giant sparse matrix, with customers as the rows and products as the columns. Once they have the data in this format, data scientists apply some form of collaborative filtering to fill in the matrix. For example, if customer A buys products 1 and 10 and customer B buys products 1, 2, 4 and 10, the engine will recommend that A buy 2 and 4 because deep learning models are good at handling high cardinality categorical variables. So they are quite good at handling recommendation systems. So the downside is they just tell you things that you might like, but not things that are helpful to you. And don't really take into consideration things like, hey, I already have that thing. Is that right? Yeah, it's not like sometimes it's not really giving you new information. Okay. I made it. Other data types. Okay. Let's finish this section and then I will I will pick up the gathering data section tomorrow. Okay, so other data types. Often you will find that domain specific data types fit very nicely into existing categories such as protein chains. Look a lot like natural language documents. So NLP for protein chains. Sounds can be represented as spectrograms, which can be treated as images, and standard deep learning approaches for images turn out to work really well on spectrograms. The drivetrain approach. Here, I know this is a topic that I have to review. The drive train approach. So this will be my last section. And I can do stuff like this. so that I can have a sense of what's already done. Okay, so I finished the state of deep learning and I finished starting your project. I think this one, oh, okay, so today I will be finished with the practice of deep learning. Okay. There are many accurate models that are of no use to anyone and many inaccurate models that are highly useful. To ensure that your modeling work is useful, consider how your work will be used. The drivetrain approach was described in detail in, what's that? Is it a book or a paper? Okay. So I'm going to save this to read. The basic idea is to start with considering your object. Oh, I was about to say objective. The basic idea is to start with considering your objective, then think about what actions you can take to meet that objective and what data you have or can acquire that can help. Then build a model that you can use to determine the best actions to take to get the best results in terms of your objective. Consider a model in an autonomous vehicle. You want to help a car drive safely from point A to point B without human intervention. Great predictive modeling is an important part of the solution, but it doesn't stand on its own. As products become more sophisticated, it disappears into the plumbing. Someone using a self-driving car is completely unaware of the hundreds, if not thousands, of models and the petabytes of data that make it work. But as data scientists build increasingly sophisticated projects, they need a systematic design approach. I have like an eyelash trying to assault my eyeball. I don't know. Oh, I think I got it. Okay, we use data not just to generate more data in the form of predictions, but to produce actionable outcomes. That is the goal of the drivetrain approach. Use data to predict action. Wait. Use data to produce actionable outcomes. Actionable outcomes. Okay. Start by defining a clear objective. Number one, define a clear objective. For instance, Google, when creating their first search engine, considered what is the user's main objective in typing in a search query. This led them to their objective, which was to show the most relevant search result. The next step is to consider what levers you can pull, i.e., what actions you can take to better achieve that objective. 2. Consider actions to better achieve the objective. Okay. In Google's case, that was the ranking of the search results. The third step was to consider what new data they would need to produce such a ranking. They realized that the implicit information regarding which pages link to which other pages could be used for this purpose. Only after these first three steps do we begin begin thinking about building the predictive models. Um, so what new data is needed? Okay, and then number 4 would be to build the model. Our objective and available levers, what data we already have, and what additional data we will need to collect determine the models we can build. The models will take both the levers and any uncontrollable variables as their inputs. The outputs from the models can be combined to predict the final state of our objective. So inputs, okay, so levers and uncontrollable variables are inputs. And then the output. All right, so the output for these models could be combined. Let's consider another example. Recommendation systems. Okay. The objective of a recommendation engine is to drive additional sales by surprising and delighting the customer with recommendations of items they would not have purchased without the recommendation. The lever is the ranking of the recommendations. New data must be collected to generate recommendations that will cause new sales. This will require conducting many randomized experiments in order to collect data about a wide range of recommendations for a wide range of customers. This is a step that few organizations take, but without it, you don't have the information you need to actually optimize recommendations based on your true objective, which is more sales. So finally, you could build 2 models for purchase probabilities, conditional on seeing or not seeing a recommendation. The difference between these 2 probabilities is a utility function for a given recommendation to a customer. It will be low in cases where the algorithm recommends a familiar book to the customer. It will be low in cases where the algorithm recommends a familiar book that the customer has already rejected. Both components are small. Or a book that they would have bought even without the recommendation. Both components are large and cancel each other out. As you can see in practice, often the practical implementation of your models will require a lot more than just training a model. You'll often need to run experiments to collect more data and consider how to incorporate your models into the overall system you're developing. Speaking of data, let's now focus on how to find data for your project. Alrighty, so with that being said and read, yeah. Okay, so I did the first section of this chapter. So the next section is gathering and cleaning the data. Here, let's look at the table of contents. So I did the practice, or we're still under practice technically. I did starting your project and then the state of deep learning and then the drivetrain approach. So we still have, at least a little bit more than half, a little bit more than half. Cleaning data and training it and coming up with a data source. So yeah, hey preacher, the class is going good. Um, I finished the lesson yesterday. Plus, I already got my deployment stuff all set up. So I'm just going to finish the book chapters first, and then we'll get into more project stuff. Vosh. Oh my goodness. Thank you for the sub. Uh, I remember asking you some questions about IT a few years ago. I came a long way, went from help desk up to threat hunter. Now, 3 years later, still can't program, but looking into learning about API hacking next. Well, congratulations. I'm glad that, things seem like they are continually progressing for you. So that's exciting and welcome back. Yeah, so my goal right now is probably in the title, like from software engineer to MLE or machine learning engineer over the course of these 100 days of code. So, of course, I've been in the field for a while, so I do have a lot of foundation, so that actually helps out a lot. But it's still it's still a challenge, but I'm having a great time with it. So we're today was day 15, and we will be going for 100 days. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. And there's all kinds of people in our community as well who, have different experiences with code. So it's all good. It's all good. But I mean, I'm very interested in hacking, cybersecurity and things like that. I just try not to get too wrapped up into like another big topic like that, because to me, like some of the big buckets right now, at least how I think about it, was like if I wanted to evolve in my career, what does the next iteration look like? And the main buckets I was looking at was cybersecurity versus probably like blockchain, Web3, and then AI machine learning. So obviously I chose AI and machine learning, but I mean, I still think I'll dig into some of those other aspects. So yeah, if you have resources for more of the, you say you're a threat hunter. I don't even know what that means for real, but it sounds interesting. I'm happy to get some resources myself as well. Maybe some other people will want to learn about that too. So yeah, I'll be here literally every day until like August. And then even then, before I started 100 Days of Code, I was doing like 5 days a week streams, Monday through Friday. So I'm pretty much like always here. But I am on YouTube now as well. So if you like to use YouTube, you can follow on YouTube. Love Cyber pays very well. Yeah, my imagination, not imagination, maybe it's imagination, but it does seem like it can be a lot. Like, because as a product engineer, I know what it's like to be on call. So I think, I don't know, it's interesting, right? But it's just so nice that we all can like kind of carve out our own little space, and then like you said, you can take some. If you kind of have pre-existing skills in one area, you can usually apply it somewhere else. But so I know for sure I'm definitely gonna like look more into cybersecurity. I just might not go all in the same way that I'm doing like AI and ML. But I still think it's an area to be aware of and experienced in, just like I'm like harping for all developers to be familiar with and understand what AI and ML is. But yeah, that's so I love hearing that, man. That just like warms my heart too. I've been teaching for quite a few years, so it's very weird because it's like some of my students, like some of my first students are super senior in their positions now. Um Some of them technically way more senior than me because a lot of like I kind of hop up from topic to topic, but a lot of my former students, they like stay in one field and like specialize or whatever. So it's, I don't know, it's always nice just to see how everybody progresses over time, because that's all I care about. I just want to help. I just want to help. I just want to help. That's all. Web3 is a big thing surfacing now, utilizing IPFS for phishing or blockchain security. Yeah. It's volatile job stability. Right now, of course, it's still volatile. The only thing that is really boosting AI ML right now is the fact that now with ChatGPT, people can see, and the other large language models, it's more practical. People can really understand like how this all fits into their workflows, their systems, their, future iterations of their companies and products. But for a while, it was really like at least in the last 5 years since I kind of got interested in it, not a lot of people have not been paying attention to it. And we did have a little bit of a surge around like 2017 ish, for example, where people were paying a little bit more attention, but it was still very theoretical. So I feel like at that point, people were like, do I go blockchain and crypto, or do I go AI and ML? And most people chose like blockchain and eventually a little Web3. So yeah, we see now that AI ML is kind of, it got to the practical side. So now it's a lot, there's more stability, I think, going to be there going forward. So hopefully, I'm sure at some point with Web3, it'll actually make that transition. To me, I'm more interested in building something on Web3, like building the new Web3 version of some like popular kind of like tool or framework that we already use, decentralizing something. Trying to transition into a hacker role. Who, Azure? Have you, Vosh, did you like look into any, did you start like looking into any resources, like just like shows or, following some content around the Web3 stuff? I asked that because I definitely remember times where I had, especially when I first got into like a big tech role, I felt like there was a lot of aspects of the domain that some of my coworkers seemed like way more comfortable with, because we were doing like a lot of real-time data streaming and stuff like that. But then I realized like I don't know, at first a lot of stuff kind of goes over your head, but you just start soaking it up little by little, and then before you know it, you actually can like have a cohesive conversation with somebody about the topic. That's how I feel about AI ML right now, for real. And also, Preacher literally is like the most multi-dimensional problem solver that I have come into contact with, I think. So yeah, he's gonna be like, come up with some like, oh yeah, some type of way of overlaying that with something else interesting always. Black Hills Information Security is one of the few companies who have dedicated blockchain Web3 people. But I will say this, since it's still volatile, now is the good time to establish the base knowledge, because that's the only regret I think I have, because I wanted to get into machine learning like literally in 2017. I was just showing folks earlier, one of my some of my repositories, you can tell like the AI ML stuff started around 2017 when um that was when I first started getting into like deep learning and NLP and stuff like that. And I wish I had been a little more I wish I was a little more established in it now, because now it's just like, now that it's booming, it would be great if I already had everything kind of sort of figured out. But so yeah, I feel like that it's still early though for me, so this is a good time to definitely focus if I wasn't able to do it before. Um so yeah, you can take advantage of the lull and then be ready, like, or you can be somebody that helps introduce it into your company as well. Um so if you have a coworker that's super into it, yeah, do they have projects that they work on or stuff? Cuz I liked my coworkers who were like very specialized, and they like did research in one particular area. Then, you just you gather knowledge off of them, and they're usually always excited to talk about it if it's a specific topic that they love. I'm sure Web3 is, from my perspective, is gonna cycle back around. It just wasn't ready at the time. Again, it wasn't super practical to a lot of people, and that's how AI was back in 2017. It was still like a lot of research papers, and like, hey, here, take this research paper I had and maybe try to apply it to something that you're working on, versus now where it's like, here's a large language model and you can use the API to build a whole entire business application on top of. That's the difference maker. I'm gonna go. Let's look at this, because mostly been focusing on IPFS research. ThoughtCon, really? Okay. The tradecraft and IP is very valuable. Yeah. Even, yeah, 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 yeah. That's so cool though. Just the fact that if you, like I said, you have, somebody around you that's actually into it, especially if you feel like it's over your head right now, because um it's different when you don't have anybody to like kind of talk through it with, or to learn different topics and resources from. But when you have somebody that's close to you like that, it's definitely a game changer. I learned so much in the last like software engineering role I was in, where it was like, I felt like I really didn't know what was going on a lot of the times. I'm like, I don't know what y'all talking about, but I'm just going to continue to be here. But then when by the time I walked away from the job, I'm like, I know system design. I understand like all these like high tech concepts. I learned about random stuff I would have never even probably thought about before. That is one reason why I appreciate the streams a lot, because I don't have like, software engineering coworkers no more. At least not right now. So y'all my coworkers for real. And everybody has their own area that they just like, focus in. So I try to gather as much information as I can. Do you follow any news or yeah, I would say like news and trends. Like, we were just watching the Senate and House hearings last week for um, AI regulation, and that was really interesting. I'm like at this point where I literally any like panel or conference or even like with the hearings and everything, like any type of news or any type of presentations I can attend that even looks remotely interesting to me, I just I always sign up. um watching a bunch of YouTube videos, like just as much information as I can, even if it goes over my head, because I remember that's how I did it in the beginning when it came to tech, right? Like I didn't know anything, but then I was like going to all these meetups and watching all these videos and reading articles and stuff like that, and it made such a big difference. Stay focused on what interests you and tune out a lot of the noise. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot. But just, I understand that perspective. At least I feel like I understand it, because I don't know if you've seen what's going on in the AI world right now, but literally every day, it's a whole new thing. The models are getting drastically larger, and we just really talking about NLP right now and generative AI. It's a whirlwind, but I try to I know my area of focus, so I just try to learn as much as I can, or just be exposed to as much as I can about that one topic. And, so, but I'm giving unsolicited advice, so you can tell me. Wish I kept out of noise, but I just collapsed everything. Wait, okay, preacher. Wish I kept out of noise. To me, what I would consider noise is anything that's not AI/ML. Now, it's hella stuff going on in AI/ML, but I try to at least just hear about stuff, and just because, again, I'm probably a lot of stuff might even go over my head initially, but when somebody brings it up in another conversation and then another conversation, when I start hearing the same things over and over again, then I know, like, oh wait, maybe I should go research into that. Because once you start hearing the same things over and over again, it's starting to gain popularity or traction or something. But to me, like, my idea of noise is trying to dig into blockchain or trying to dig into cybersecurity right now, because my brain would probably melt literally out of my ears. Use ChatGPT every day. Yeah, you probably can get a lot of good lever or good support from ChatGPT when it comes to the coding and stuff that you're trying to transition to. I use ChatGPT a lot, but I don't even really use it a lot for coding. I use it a lot more for helping me figure out, like I'm running like multiple podcasts at this point, so I use it to help um figure out like the outlines for my episodes and help me brainstorm um topics and how I could order my topics in a way that makes sense. Um like I had moderate like if I moderate a panel or something like that, I might use ChatGPT to help me figure out like different talking points that I want to cover or something like that. I use it more for the like quote unquote content creation type of thing. I do use it a lot. I do use it to help troubleshoot code when I am working with students though. And that's really nice because if I have students that are doing like a final project or something and they have like hundreds of lines of code and I'm trying to figure out the one bug in their code and it's probably just a missing semicolon or something like that, it's surprisingly really super helpful. Or like little things that I think I probably, if I was to Google it, it would take me like 25 articles to find the exact thing I'm trying to do. Like, oh, what's that one git command for this specific case? I use it a lot for that kind of stuff. But those types of language models are very interesting to me because I'm interested in NLP. So, and Preacher does all kinds of like cool, like live coding, and I won't even try to explain because I think Preacher explains it way better, obviously. But yeah, there's the coding of the models, but then there's also the layers of like working models that can work with code, models that can generate code, models that can, you know, like interact a little bit more naturally with code and things like that. I'm very interested in models that could teach, like genuinely teach coding. That's always been my interest, but now it's just ChatGPT came and blew away all expectations. Well, I should say, GPT came and blew away all expectations recently. So I can't even imagine what kind of things are possible. I like ChatGPT. It's pretty good with coding. Um, I just get worried when I'm still like, I don't know, I'm still kind of hesitant to recommend it when people are super, super beginner to programming or coding and tech and they're just transitioning because you need to be able to have some type of way of validating that the code is right or the, feedback that it's giving you is right. But the hallucinations, as they call them, but for the most part, it's really good. It's been trained on like billions of lines of code, so pretty solid. I think this new playlist was like pretty decent, y'all. I have to come up with my own music though, cause I gotta see how YouTube categorizes this. It's not like I don't get like a copyright strike type of situation, but I do get copyright claims on some of my videos. So from the different playlists that I've used. So it's all interesting. It's all an experiment. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Let's see. We did, we've been I want to change this. I just realized it says hi there. I don't think I ever said hi there in my entire life. I might say what up though, cuz that's what we say here in my city. Um but yeah, I did some planning this week, so I got some stuff in store for everybody. I'm finally getting my stuff together when it comes to making educational content outside of the programs that I teach for in the organizations that I, work with. So I feel really good about that. And like I said, this week is our Train X week. So we will be doing the Train X show live on Thursday. Been learning a lot about hard coded credentials. Heck yeah, that's real bad. So, Vosh, one thing about one of the companies that I worked for when it was like super, super, like tight on the IP, we had we have really good SREs, site reliability engineers, and we had a really good tools team. First of all, that was the first time I ever worked in a company where we had engineers that just wrote tools for the rest of the engineers. Um, and so one thing that was like a very like novel part of our deployment process is we did have some type of checks and balances as far as whenever we would commit code, because we were like anytime we had some type of integration set up to where anytime it even seemed like you committed some type of string in your code that could be a secret, it would not even let you commit first. Um, it would stop you, like when you try to go to commit, it would stop you from committing, and then it would like kind of flag the file for you. It says like you have a high entropy string. Basically, it looks like it could be a VIN number. I mean, we were like vehicle data, so it looks like it could be a VIN number, or it looks like it could be, an API key or something like that. So when we had those like high entropy strings, automatically like we would get stopped, and then we would have to confirm that yes, like, programmatically we would confirm that, if the file was actually safe to commit, or that would be our quick notice to be like, hey, by the way, okay, let me fix that before I push it. And if secrets got committed to GitHub at all, even though we were on private repositories, it didn't even matter. If secrets got committed at all, we had to rotate like immediately. Like that was a like on call emergency procedure. But that was a really fun way that they did it. I was very impressed by that. Like it was just so unique to me at the time, because I had never really seen that level of um, engineering and like kind of ingenuity in the process. So it was nice because it made it a lot easier to exist as a software engineer in a high stakes environment like that, because I knew like 9 times out of 10, a lot of the things that I might actually slip up and do, our tools and our like hooks in our process and stuff was kind of, it was there to there was a lot of safety rails and things, guard rails and things that was put into place for us. I mean, some things that you probably only learn by making that mistake, but once it was made one time, they built something so we wouldn't make it again. It's also a pretty cool way to look into GitHub hooks, like the API hooks. So, but yeah, it's really, I mean, the main folks that I see messing up the whole like credentials process too, you would be surprised. It's not just like big giant companies and like their engineers accidentally doing something. Sometimes it's just like I've had students literally like you're in a boot camp, and then you like go get like an AWS account or something, so that you can deploy your project. You want to get AWS experience, whatever, and then you actually commit some of your secrets directly to your database or to your repository, and then somebody like runs up their credit card bill like instantly. That is terrible, but it happens. And that's probably the worst, because it's like you don't even realize that you setting yourself up like that. Or while we are chatting, I can see who else is still streaming at this weird. Oh, well, it's kind of early actually. It's not as late as it normally is for me, Because I've been going to sleep at like 3 a.m. I always tell customers to set up billing alerts. Oh, for coin mining. That kind of makes sense, I guess. But yeah, I've seen it happen. But again, you're working with a customer, a client, they probably have some established company, of course. I'm trying to, sorry, I don't want to make that do nothing weird, but I'm trying to see who's live right now. Oops. So yeah, they can set up like these billing alerts and everything, but nobody's telling like a student to do that. I'm literally the only person I know that's coding right now. That's crazy. Okay, let's see who else is in the category, I guess. Leak code. Do y'all be on leak code? I got something recently. I've been wanting to try this out. Algo Expert. Ooh, they're having another flash sale. I highly recommend, if you want to get it, to take advantage of the flash sale, because it's basically like you get the system design, front end, it's front end system design, machine learning, and one other category. Because I just wanted like a good platform to interview prep. And I'm kind of a fan of how theirs works, but I've never did like leak code for real. We used to have a different one, what, Hacker Rank or something? Is it Hacker Rank? I don't know if that's exactly the same, but oh yeah, so these four, I did a flash sale like a couple months ago. So it's like Algo Expert and Systems Expert, Front End Expert, and ML Expert. So I hadn't talked about this, but since this is something, when I get done with maybe when I get done with the 100 days, I will take my first stab at the ML interviewing material and see how I can do. Let's see if I go here. Yeah, so that's this one. The tech interview bundle. So you basically get everything for like $100 for a year. So random pub plug. Minecraft server programming. I almost forgot what I was doing for a second. It's quiet in the category right now. What's up? We don't code on Tuesday nights, or is it like, did I miss a fun weekend or something? I don't follow anybody here, so I don't know who to support. It's Monday and hot. Oh, maybe. But it's Monday, like, Don't people gotta get up and do stuff tomorrow? Or no? I got like 3 meetings tomorrow. Oh wait. Hey, let's go visit Shadow. Oh my goodness. Y'all, let's go visit Shadow because Shadow is just joined us recently and also is working on the Fast AI course right now. And this is funny because they were like, yeah, uh the visual or the themes for the themes for the notebooks was not, they were not a fan of those. So this is their theme that they created. So yeah, I think that is a perfect segue. We'll go visit Shadow. Um, raid Shadow less dev. So I'm gonna set the raid up. Please say hi to Shadow at the very least before you take off for the night. Um, and I was so happy to have a conversation with y'all. I hate to cut it short. I just gotta get in the bed at some time because baby boy is gonna wake up in the morning regardless of what time I go to sleep. But Vosh, I hope you'll be back soon. But feel free to join us, and I want to say good night to everybody. Let's go raid. Let's go raid. Let's go raid.